So I was just playing around with my favourite sound out of this Vox AC30. This is a Vox AC30cc1. It's kind of like the baby brother of the massive kind of famous Vox AC30 we know and love over all the decades of use. It's got a 1x12 Celestion speaker in, and this is a seriously pro piece of kit. You can go out and gig with this because it's got plenty of headroom, it's seriously loud, and it'll kind of work in a lot of band context. It's one of those amps that it'll give out what you put into it. It kind of works well with kind of boosting pedals in front of it, treble boosters, compressors, overdrives. This amp loves that sort of thing. It's got an extension cabinet out at the back, so you can actually, if you're not happy with just the one speaker, but it'll work fine if it's mic'd up through the PA, it'll sound great. But if you want a bigger sound around you, you can always take an extension cab out and link it to a bigger cab. It's got an effects send and return at the back as well, which is what the early Vox AC30s didn't have. And nowadays, you know, it's just such a handy thing to have to send to some delays or reverbs or whatever you want going on in the effects send and return of your amp. It's very, very touch sensitive to guitar signal, and again to guitar tone and your kind of touch and what you do with your fingers. So again, it's a great kind of it's a great amp to teach you how to kind of manipulate sound. If I can take a, you know, I don't know, a riff. If I take a riff that kind of that does this, and I'll kind of boost it just by turning up the volume on the guitar. If I you can hear it getting quieter and quieter just by moving the volume on your guitar. This is what I think the Vox AC30 is famous for, and obviously Brian May and The Edge, that, you know, they know something, you know, that we don't about them. They're great for those chimey kind of sounds, and you can just tell it's kind of crying out for a treble booster just in front of it to get those kind of Brian May type sounds. Really good amp. It's got a kind of very simple, user-friendly tone section, bass and treble. You've got the tremolo section, which I was using on that kind of that jam I was doing. You can actually wind up this kind of this tremolo. If I just turn the tremolo up, you can hear that's a lovely sound. Very useful. You can vary the depth and the speed of it. It's about as slow as it can go. So this would be a great recording tool as well, because again, it's one of those blank canvases that you can actually put some great pedals in front of it and get all sorts of kind of tones and colours with your guitar. What it also has is quite a nice reverb section on it. If I kind of crank the reverb up, you've got that is very usable, that reverb. really kind of, you know, laying on the reverb. But if you take that wind that all the way back, you can actually just have a little touch of it there, and it sounds kind of cool. Hardly there at all, and then a bit more on. So it kind of gives a kind of an air behind the notes. All in all, the AC30cc1, professional piece of kit, would be great in any indie band, but has the possibility for some real kind of tones with the enhancement of some pedals in front of it and some pedals in the effects loop. But should be able to cater for most situations. Great amp.